Hi everyone, I am Bhumika Rathi. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, we are doing practices for competitive exams in which I am going to cover your English grammar at the very first. And here we are continuing the topic prepositions. In preposition, today we are going to see some phrase prepositions which are very important for exam. Let's see. The first one that we have is according to. According to means as per. Alright. For example, we can say according to the terms and conditions. He will have to finish it in 2 days. So, as per the terms and conditions. For that we have used according to. With according we have used the preposition to. So, together they are called phrase preposition. Alright. Then the second one that we have is by dint of. By dint of means by force of, or we can say because of. For example, I passed the exam by dint of hard work. Because of hard work, I passed the exam. Alright. For that we can use for because of or by force of. For that we can use by dint of. Alright. Of preposition and by preposition we can see with the word dint. Alright. Now moving to the third one that we have is in case of. In case of means if. For example, in case of emergency, call 100. If there is an emergency, then you can dial 100. Alright. And then the fourth one that we have is by virtue of. By virtue of means by authority of. Alright. Or we can say by power of. For example, the judge can pass the order by virtue of his powers. Alright. By virtue of means by authority. Since the judge has the powers, so by his powers he can pass the order. Alright. And here we have a note that how they deal with situations and authority. This one is for situation and this one is for authority. Alright. Now moving to the fifth one. The fifth one means owing to. Owing to means because of. By virtue of we have seen. By dint of we have seen. By dint of also means because of hard work. And here owing to means because of. Alright, it's quite similar to that, but it's different here. Owing to and due to have the same meaning, but there are mainly two differences that we can see. The first one is that we will see a sentence can start with owing to, but not with the word, not with the phrase preposition due to. Alright, for example, whenever we say due to heavy rains, I couldn't come. That is incorrect. Due to cannot come at the beginning of the sentence. Alright, instead of that, we can use owing to. Owing to heavy rains, I couldn't come. This is correct. Why? Owing to can be used at the beginning of the sentence. Alright. Then we have after any form of be. Be means is, am, are. Like that. Alright. Use due to. After that, any form we will use due to. And it cannot be used. Due to cannot be used at the beginning of the sentence. It should be used middle, in the between of the sentence. Alright. For example, the accident was owing to heavy rains. This is incorrect. Owing to will always be used at the beginning of the sentence. This is very important. And due to will be used in this manner. The accident was due to heavy rains. So was is, am, are. We have the be form. Alright, any form of be. After that we have use due to. Alright, like this we will use. Here we have a note. SSC accepts starting a sentence with due to as correct. This is very important to be noted. Alright, now moving on. With reference to. With reference to we have already learnt, but it means with regard to. Alright, for example, with reference to your letter dated 27 July 2011, I hereby submit my reply. So, with regard to your letter, alright, for that we have used with reference to. With and to, they both are prepositions and they all together form phrase preposition. Alright, then the seventh one that we have is in order to. In order to means so that. This is very important. Many of the students forget that. For example, we vacated the premises in order to avoid. Alright, in order to. In order to means so that we can avoid litigation. Alright. Then we have the eighth one that is in course of. In course of means during. For example, in course of time, I faced many problems. During that time, I faced many problems. Alright. Now, moving on to the ninth one, that is on behalf of. On behalf of means in place of. Alright, or we are representing something. For example, he came to receive the award on behalf of his brother. In place of his brother, he came to receive the award. Alright, for that we will use on behalf in place of that person. Or if you are representing Haryana or Delhi, whenever you are presenting, so on behalf of that state, I am here. Alright, now the 10th one that we have is agreeably to. It means according to. Alright, for example, agreeably to the terms of the agreement, we will pay you 1 lakh rupees according to the terms of the agreement. Alright, it's quite similar to the first that we have seen. Then we have the 11th one, which is by means of. By means of means with the help of. Many times we have used in a sentence in the books, we can see this one, by means of that. It means with the help of. Alright, for example, we can see he is amazed a lot of money by means of sharp practices. Alright, with the help of that, he amazed. Now then the 12th one that we have is for the sake of. For the sake of means for the benefit of. For example, save plants at the least for the sake of your children. For the benefit of your children, save the plants. Alright, for the sake of. Alright, this phrase will be used. Preposition phrase. Then we have in favor of. In favor of means supporting something. For example, he voted in favor of his friend. Since his friend is there and he voted his friend, why? To support that. So for that we can use in favor of his friend. Alright, then we have in lieu of. In lieu of means in place of. We have already seen this one. And in lieu of also means instead of. Alright, this is important. For example, he got 50,000 rupees in lieu of his claim. Alright. In his claim, he received how much? He received 50,000 in lieu of. Instead of claim, he received 50,000 or in place of that. Alright, now then we have the next one. On account of. On account of means because of. Quite similar that we have already seen. The meaning are same but the phrases changes. Alright, that is very important to be noted. On account of his negligence, the company suffered heavy loss. Because he was not there, because of his absence, the company suffered heavy loss. Alright, so for that we will use on account of. Alright, then we have in relation to. In relation to means regarding or concerning. For example, there are some rules in relation to the organization of the match. Alright, regarding to the organization, there are some rules. For that we have used in relation to. Alright. Now moving on to the last page, in which we will see noun focus and adjective focus. This is very important. For example, whenever we say I acted according to your order, here according to, it's a phrase, preposition phrase which has been used, but here it has been used as noun. Alright, we are focusing on noun. So in this manner it will be used. And whenever we say whenever we are focusing on adjectives, so in this manner it will be used. I acted in accordance with your order. So accordance with, according to, you can see it has changed to accordance with. Alright, similarly we have some more. Mother Teresa had affection for all. Affection for. Now here we can see in adjective it has changed. How? Mother Teresa was affectionate to all. Alright, it has changed like this. To, even the prepositions has been changed. You can see that one. Then we have he is ambitious for fame. And whenever we are focusing on adjective, how it will change? He is ambitious of fame. Of. Alright, for fame we can see. Even the ambition changes to ambitious. Then we have I am capable of doing hard work. Capable of. And in adjective, how it got changed? I have capacity for doing hard work. Alright. Then we have I have confidence in myself. And whenever we say in adjective, I am confident about myself. Even the pronoun has changed. Sorry. Alright. Even the verb forms, you can see it has changed. And in this manner, you can see how they all have changed. Alright. Then we have the last one. He has desire for money and fame. He is desirous of money and fame. Alright. So in this manner, you can memorize them and they're very important. They're very important for exams. So you have to note them down in your notebooks. This would help you a lot. So this is all for today. Meet in the next video continuing this topic. Thank you.